This game is rated 18, expect gory images and generally stuff not for kids, like boobs.
I've done to men you wouldn't believe.
Well, okay then. Predator is a franchise that has only had a couple of standalone games, and by that I mean where the character wasn't part of a 3-part boy band. We had Predator for the Sega and the NES, but you played as the human there and not the actual Predator. Predator Concrete Jungle came out in 2005, a year after the first AVP movie. So it's almost a movie game, but I think it stands alone enough story-wise to not be one. It does have a few connections to the wider world, including the Weyland-Yutani Corporation and the alien-style cyborgs with milky blood, and there is also an appearance from the bugs themselves. The game was developed by Eurocom, who seemed to be the go-to company for your movie games in the 2000s. They had Batman Begins, James Bond Nightfire, Pirates of the Caribbean and so on. It came out for the PS2 and the original Xbox and has had no outside release ports from what I found out, so it can be quite a pain to come by. The story is quite something. As a kid back then I really didn't know what was going on, and 15 years later, yeah, I'm still a bit lost. It's wild. So let me run you through it, skip to the timestamp if you want to avoid spoilers from a 15-year-old game or if you just don't care. You play as a disgraced predator who must regain his honour after making his presence known to literally everyone. He has to regain his honour by killing the humans who 100 years ago after his original venture have stolen the predator tech and become super advanced and very good at defeating predators, spoiling their fun. The game is set in a very 1930s time with mafia bosses, but mixed in with 1970s 80s style of cult members and edgy punk rockers flooding the streets, all fighting over the alien tech and being completely fucking mental.
Need more special guns.
Yeah, I got everything you could need, dude. Take a look at this truck. Not enough. Need more. Know how hard this Prometheus stuff is to get a hold of? Bring more. 1 hour. Dude, serious. Fuck.
So after his original fuck up, his clan banished him to a desolate planet to fight alien-like creatures for 100 years. Once returning to Earth, you start your hunt by killing some cult folk named Les Serviteurs, who are similar to the guys found in Predator 2.
A sign from the law of darkness. Message in blood from our father Zaraguin, the Scorpion God.
These guys use
Gosuits,
and you must hunt them down, eventually making your way to the leader, finishing up in a rock concert fighting Wolverine-type enemies. There's a part here with a group called the Dead Men, a group of emo kids who feel no pain thanks to drugs, and eventually you storm a mob boss's island palace with the help of a punk rocker in a robot. Next, Scarface sets his eye upon the Mexican gang led by El Hongo, who has taken over the streets after the serviteurs have been hung up to dry. Now this section of the game is where shit really gets wild, so strap in while I strap on. El Hongo asks for help from a lady named Lucrecia Borgia, I think. After the Predator slays his hookers and pimps, she eventually gives in. In helping him, she sends her a group of mechanically enhanced Russians known as Machine Men. Predator fights the Machine Men in a space racetrack, taking them as trophies. Lucrecia then sends El Hongo to hang out with her Black Ops squad disguised as ex-porn stars, their leader being Baby Blue. And through some handy-dandy work, the Predator, Scarface, fights his way through the land of the Black Ops hookers and eventually takes the trophy of El Hongo. So after taking the trophies of both El Hongo and Baby Blue, the Predator arrives at a weapons depot, infiltrating and destroying it. Lucrecia, after seeing the Predator on camera, sends waves of the Monster Squad, who are genetically altered cyborgs, cyborgs, eventually overpowering and capturing the Predator, taking him back to the Borgia labs. We are then taken for a trip down memory lane to Scarface's hunt for Bruno 100 years ago. This flashback takes us to the hunt for Bruno through a museum, killing a corrupt cop in the process. Once taking the skull of Bruno, the Predator shows it to his wife, because he's a boss apparently.
You think that makes you the boss now?
This flashback explains the events leading up to the start of the game, so now you know why the Predator was in the state he was. So now that the flashback is over, we join Scarface, who is tied up, but soon after breaks free and frees all his friends. Not that they last very long. Throughout the game there's been a character called Mother talking to various characters and who is presumably the one narrating. She's meant to be an AI who is currently controlling the city, so after the Predator escapes, Mother activates the weather stations to make it rain. I guess finding Predator tech lets us control the weather now, but because of the rain, the Predator can no longer go into cloak mode, so he must destroy our rainmakers. To stop him are Bad Bloods, which are modified predators who come in all shapes and sizes. We manage to kill some of them, but a few escape. But the weather system is down and the Predator can now go back into cloak mode. After completing this objective, you are tasked with fighting the Samurai Joker Power Rangers. After some fighting, each one eventually runs away, letting you give chase to Lutricia by hopping on top of her car, without her noticing. Now arriving at the Borgia Towers, the Predator fights his way through another wave of the Monster Squad in this hologrammed world of the prologue level, eventually fighting the big hunky Predator named Stoneheart. After this, it is revealed that Mother is Isabel, the lady who the Predator showed Bruno's skull to, and her and her son Hunter are being kept alive by the Predator's blood. As Scarface prepares to kill her, she turns on the shield and releases xenomorphs, because we can't have a Predator game without these little bastards.
Hello, Scarface. Long time no see. I suppose you think you've got me just where you want me now, but say hello to my little friends. Have fun together.
Anyway, after fighting many aliens, Scarface successfully destroys the shield generators and kills not only all the aliens but Mother, impaling her with his combi
We
stick.
only had that one night, but I never did get over you.
Now to face Hunter, who has become a Predator-human hybrid and frankly looks ridiculous. Even Lutricia thinks so, and he kills her for it.
Look at you! What have you done to yourself? No!
The Joker Power Rangers kinda team up with the Predator in taking down Hunter, eventually dying. Scarface comes out on top in the most boss-like arena we could have had, ripping out Hunter's skull on top of a giant statue.
Made him strong. Mighty Bruno Borgia fathered a stunted weakling, but you made him strong.
There is a post-credit scene where it is revealed that Lutricia has now been transformed into a cyborg like her mother by a Wayland and Yutani merger, and she is now in control of Neonopolis. So that's the story. It's wacky, confusing, probably full of plot holes, but it's weird and I dig it.
And it's here. El demonio. It's gonna kill us all. And I didn't even get to come.
Levels are mostly made up of small open world style environments, with a main objective which could be kill said crazy person or blow something up. These missions often include a bonus objective which will reward you with health, armor upgrades or a new costume. For the most part though, these bonus objectives are super vague, or you just don't know about them until you do one of whatever you're meant to be doing. Luckily you can go back via chapter select to get your upgrade and outfit, and with this being an older game, there's plenty of forums guides telling you how to get these various objectives done. But the same can be said for the main objective too. The game sometimes just doesn't make it clear what you're meant to be doing, and I guess some people will enjoy that in the game, you know, not hand holding, and letting you explore the levels and figure things out for yourself. But for me, I just don't like wandering around, not knowing what I'm meant to actually be doing. Though the environments are fun to explore and are pretty varied across the game, and are full of secrets containing little collectibles like ammo for your weapons or weapon upgrades. The game is a third-person action stealth game. More so action, you do have the option for stealth like your cloak mode, but most enemies will notice that you're there unless you're sneaking behind them. The cloak is more so used as a getaway tool, or to approach a situation undetected before causing havoc and then slipping away. The Predator comes with all of his iconic gadgets and weaponry, from the various vision modes, thermal, tech, bio, all with their own unique abilities and nice little additions and details. For example, the thermal mode, when locked onto an enemy, you can discover the person's armour and what they're weak to and strong against, so you can judge what way to deal with that person. The tech vision is used to find recharge points and the various other tech related items in the world. And finally, the bioscan will let you see rank and clan of a person, just for some nice extra detail. The vision modes are really cool to use, with the iconic sound when switching and zooming in, from recording an enemy's voice playing it back to them, using that to lure them away or spook them, or to gain access to different areas of the level.
Open wide and say, ah. Open wide.
You also have the wrist blades, combi stick, glaive and maul, all with their own combos and perks. You can also combo them with each other, leading to some very violent finishes. The plasma caster is also here, a smart disc and a spear gun, which is my personal favourite. You can upgrade each piece of equipment by finding the upgrade in a specific mission. A use of certain types of weapons will drain the Predator's energy meter, but can be recharged by easily shoving your hand in the nearest electrical box. Sneaking up behind an enemy or just grabbing them will allow you to do a variety of gruesome finishes. So all that sounds all good and well. You've got the iconic weapons of the Predator movies and some gruesome finishes, a lot of varied missions in various open worlds, and a batshit story to go along with it, but it all comes down to controls, which are honestly just okay. The game's default controls, or should I say camera, is terrible, with the camera always wanting to face the direction of the Predator, which makes quick jumps while moving in small areas an absolute nightmare, and you often just walk off ledges. But you can turn this off in the options, which I highly recommend. The controls are still kinda slippery when trying to make particularly tight jumps or getting close to ledges if you want to look off them, though once you're used to the controls it does kinda control fine. You will sometimes slip off ledges or miss a jump because you fell off, but running around the worlds doing fancy Predator parkour is just fun. And when you fall off a ledge into seemingly bottomless pits, you do just respawn at the top, which is pretty handy and makes falling off ledges that less bit annoying. The game has ritual challenges that you unlock throughout the game, which are basically just time trials, and to be honest they're quite fun. They give you more of a chance to use the parkour system in the game using specific jumps to carry momentum, and the various costumes you unlock throughout the game also look pretty fucking neat. So that's Predator Concrete Jungle. A pretty fun, wacky standalone Predator game. The Predator won't see a standalone adventure for well over a decade after this game's release. We had AVP, the kind of reboot, he's had some cameos in Call of Duty and Ghost Recon, but the next game for the Predator is releasing soon, Predator Hunting Grounds, a multiplayer Predator game that I tried out the beta for and was pretty dope, so here's hoping it's good. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.
Bye.